I've lost 140 pounds and completely changed how I look, how I feel, how I dress, and honestly, how I see myself. The mistake I made for years before I was able to actually make progress on this transformation was trying to change my life without actually changing the person creating the life. So today we're gonna be building your actual transformation blueprint because, come on, I know ball. We're gonna cover who you're becoming, what she does, what she doesn't do, what needs to go, and your plan for the next 90 days. Welcome to episode 1 of It Girl Training. Listen, it's already August, guys, and like we all know in like a month, people are gonna be talking winter arc this, winter arc that. We're locking in now. I'm taking you back to school. So get out a pen and paper or your Notion, your Notes app, whatever the hell you wanna use, because class is in session. For today's lesson, we're going over building the transformation blueprint, and this is essential foundational stuff that we're gonna carry with us throughout the rest of the semester. Let's start with lesson 1, defining your it girl. Now, an it girl does not have to be like this perfect Pilates princess, though if that's your vibe, I love it, but Lord knows it's not mine. I mean, look at me, come on. But we're gonna get granular. We're not just gonna think like vaguely of a glow up. That's not enough to just like want to glow up. I like to do 3 categories, but you can obviously add more to this if these don't cover what you're looking for. First category is body. This is what does the dream version of yourself look and feel like? This can be body composition. This can be how strong you are in the gym. This can be your energy level, your health, and any like physical abilities, you know, making your day-to-day life easier, like being able to go upstairs, for example. I used to live in a 5th floor walk up, and guys, it was not easy. Don't just put together a Pinterest board of random girls' bodies and be like, I want that, all right? What we want to consider and figure out is what does a girl with that body that you'd like actually do? And also when it comes to setting body goals, guys, we have to be realistic, all right? There's no world in which I'm gonna look like Bella Hadid, all right? I'm Latina, I got some curves, and I like that about myself. So my goal is always to be the best version that I can of myself. And so I kind of like more to focus on like physical attributes, like I want to have like nice arms, a toned back, like things like that, rather than just looking at one person and being like, I want to be them. So we want to ask ourselves, what does the girl with that body that you want actually do? So for me, she strength trains 4 to 5 times a week, wears gym clothes she feels hot and sexy in, like she feels good in the gym, eating food that supports her goals, going on walks regularly, drinking enough water, because you can't have the body overnight, but what you can do is start developing the habits immediately. You can start doing these things right away. Like you're not going to wake up tomorrow with your dream body just because you had a lemon water, but you can wake up tomorrow and choose to live the day exactly like your dream self would. Let's jump into aesthetics because this is really important, like this outside of the body to me personally. And I'm not talking like copying, pasting an aesthetic that you see on TikTok. The Lord knows I have done that before, all right? I had my whole e-girl era and it was, don't say I'm still in it because that's rude. No one said that. Literally, no one said that. Me attacking myself. But this is what I mean when I'm saying like your it girl doesn't have to be like a perfect Pilates princess. You don't have to be all beige and neutral. Okay. Like guys, I'm not into the clean girl vibe personally. I think there's a bunch of creators that are doing a great job covering that clean girl demographic. All right, obviously that's not me, but I really like that about myself and I love the aesthetic that I'm leaning into. Honestly, this is a big part of what I'm working on for myself right now. What that it girl that I want to be, like what kind of clothes does she wear? I just like decided that I was going to kind of move away from patterned alternative pieces, like stuff with like bats on it and stuff, and kind of go towards something that feels a bit more grown, a bit more sexy. I even changed the way I got my lashes done today to be a little more fox eye, less dolly. And I actually even impulsively tweezed my eyebrows the other day, but guys, aren't they looking good? Like I kind of ate with that. Yeah, I kind of ate with that. But like my jewelry, I want to up my game there. Like there are things that I can add to, you know, what I already have developed to get me closer to that goal. And it's not about just buying a bunch of new stuff. You don't have to be a consumerism final boss, though. Obviously I'm consumerism final boss. Like I don't know what my problem is. I also have so many clothes that already fit this aesthetic and it's more about pairing things together. Or for example, I invested in a new underbust corset because there are some pieces that I have that I thought I could go together really well if I had like a corset to belt them with. So stuff like this, like are there small things that you can add to your existing wardrobe? I think makeup is another really big part of this. Like one thing I'm really focused on in this like part of my life is also like really nailing down a signature makeup look that I feel sexy in, that I feel complements my features really well. And also it's something I can be consistent with, which we'll kind of get into making habits easy in a little bit. I want to pick a makeup routine that is like sustainable and something that I feel like I could do over and over again. We want to figure out what are these details that we can either add into our life, what are small adjustments we can make to what we already have, like how can we get towards this aesthetic that we want to have. A big part of that with wardrobe too is saying no to buying stuff. And I love buying things, but I say no to a lot of things. Like for example, my aesthetic, you guys know, black and pink, all right? But it wasn't always like that. I used to add like a bunch of other colors into it here and there, but then I found that I wouldn't reach for those colors and it was just like clogging up my closet. And I decided that, I'm just gonna pick these two colors because then everything in my closet goes together. Literally my entire closet is just black and pink, okay? So you don't have to be as extreme as me, but make sure you're buying things that align with everything else that you have. I really don't love to buy like a piece just because I think it's fun and interesting. Like it really has to make sense for me and for my aesthetic. Decisions that you're making have to make sense towards that person that you want to become. Would that person that you want to become, would that it girl that you already are, make that decision? Wait, sorry, there's like a really sexy version of me that wants to say more about this topic and she's paging in right now. One thing about becoming an it girl is feeling confident in your clothes and having go-to pieces that you'll actually wear over and over again. We're not doing fast fashion that's gonna fall apart in the washer. Like we just can't do that anymore. I was so excited when Quince reached out to sponsor today's video because I absolutely love every single piece I've gotten from them. Quince works directly with manufacturers, so there's no middleman. You don't have to work with any crazy markups. They sell directly to you, which means that you can get actually high quality pieces for an affordable cost. This bralette that I'm wearing right now is actually from Quince, and you guys have seen me wearing this 24/7. Okay, I absolutely love this bralette. Came in a 2-pack, pink and black. Like, duh, it's made for me. I also have been loving the PJ set I got from them. So nice, so comfortable, like so perfect to wear after doing like my post-workout shower and just wind down. Like I absolutely love that set. The tops that I got from them were just so flattering. I love how all of the tops fit my body. I just feel like they are so cute. And they even have some great activewear. I got this super cute activewear skirt that is just adorable. Or I also got these really cool jeans that I wore for my brother's birthday actually when we went out because I just like, they're so comfortable and so cute. So if you want to add some key pieces to your wardrobe with 365-day returns and free shipping, you can use the QR code on screen or link in the description to try out some pieces from Quince yourself. And thanks again to Quince for sponsoring today's video. And the third category that's important to me is energy. This is much deeper than like just being confident because I feel like that's kind of just loaded and there's so much that goes behind being confident. How do you enter a room? How do you carry yourself? How do you talk to people? What do you tolerate? What don't you tolerate? All these things are super important. For example, when I'm walking the city, I used to always like kind of like look down because like I didn't want to look at people, or I'd like always be looking at my phone to kind of like avoid any awkward eye contact because I'm a real introvert despite the energy you guys see in these videos. All right, I'm hella introverted. And so I would always like kind of do that. And I just like realized confident people aren't doing that. Like if I see a girl and she's looking confident, looking straight ahead, she's doing her thing. And so I decided, okay, you know what, when I'm walking, I'm going to pick one thing that's in front of me, like, long way in front of me, and just like focus on that and focus on looking in that direction, keeping my head up, not looking down. A great thing to do is to wear sunglasses if you're practicing stuff like this, and you can practice making eye contact with people through your sunglasses. And like, obviously like they won't really know, or like practice looking at people and like it feeling less awkward. You start doing that intentionally, but it will eventually become so natural to you that it will shift your energy. You will feel more confident and you won't feel this sense of needing to hide yourself as much. I've given you some of my examples throughout this, but our second lesson is finding the behaviors. Because like we said, you don't have to wait to become her, all right? You don't have to wait for that. You can become her right now with the choices that you're gonna make today. So if your dream version is going to the gym every single day, is reading before bed, taking care of her appearance, keeping her place clean, and eating good foods, those are things that you can start doing right now. You don't have to wait until you lose the weight or you gain the muscle, you have the perfect wardrobe. Like you don't have to wait for these things that take time to build to start being that person. Because the it girls that you look at, the girls that you think are so cool, like they are the way that they are and that you admire because of those habits. Like the habits don't come because of who they are. That's probably not even a great way to say that. But you know what I'm saying? Like the behaviors build you into that person. All right. It's not just like that person came out of nowhere. Like the behaviors and consistency builds up, piles up until you are really that person that you want to be. Like I didn't lose 140 pounds, gain muscle because I woke up one day and I was just like magically disciplined. Like I wish. I became someone that went to the gym 5 days a week. I became someone who tracked everything she ate. And I became someone who got back on track after a bad day instead of sitting and sulking and letting it become a bad month, a bad year. If you guys haven't read Atomic Habits, I talked about this in my fitness journey video, but this book like genuinely changed my life. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of the things I've learned from that through this video and then through the series as well. I definitely recommend checking it out. That can be your recommended reading from your professor. One thing I really love that James Clear talks about in that book is the idea that every time you make a choice that version of you would make, you're giving yourself another piece of evidence that that's just who you are now. And I really like this idea of these things stacking up and giving you more and more evidence that that's actually just the person that you currently are. So lesson 3, we're going to design the system. Now that we know what that version of us does, we're going to make those things as easy as possible to do. This is one of my favorite ways of actually making habit building work. For example, like the gym, all right? The goal is to train consistently. The goal is to train X amount of times a week. How can we make it as easy as possible for you to do that? 1, laying out your gym clothes the night before, packing your gym bag the night before, going into the gym with a routine ready. If you guys need like a free program to follow, mine's in the description down below. In this series, we'll actually be covering how to develop your perfect workout routine and what I recommend there. So definitely subscribe if you want to see that. But going in with the exercises that you know you're going to do so you're not panicking when you get to the gym, it doesn't feel overwhelming. And also making the experience enjoyable. For me, this is cute gym clothes. Like if I'm wearing a cute gym set, guys, I'm excited to go to the gym. Or getting yourself a coffee on your way to the gym. When it comes to eating well, like eating healthy is super vague, but like really what it comes down to is making it as easy as possible for you to make healthy choices. So, making grocery shopping easier, putting together a grocery list, planning out your meals in advance so you're not overwhelmed at the grocery store, having whatever app you're using to track your food on your home screen. Meal prepping is my favorite because it's just so much easier to choose not to Uber Eats when you have some delicious meal prep ready to go. And this is just the principle. If this choice that supports your goals is easier than the choice that doesn't, it's going to be a no-brainer to make the choice that aligns with the version of you that you're becoming. And this applies to everything beyond fitness. If you want to read more, having the book out on your nightstand. If you want to go on walks more, keeping your shoes by the door, saving your favorite podcast to be something that you only listen to on your walk. I'll do a whole episode on staying motivated in this series as well. But overall, the idea is to not depend on motivation. You want to design your life in a way that is so curated that it takes less effort for you to make the right choice. Speaking of adding good things into your life, you also got to get rid of the bad, all right? So this is lesson 4, the purge. Becoming that it girl isn't just about adding things to your life. Some things just have to go. Whether that's clothes that don't fit you anymore or fit the person that you're trying to become, foods that you struggle to keep around and that you're more likely to overeat, apps that take up so much time out of your day, like TikTok. Oh, dude, I'd be watching Chicago med clips on TikTok for hours. Like I can't do it. I need a time limit on that thing. Also, like any accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. It's one thing to follow, especially in the gym girlies area, like following gym girlies that you find motivating, that you really like their content. It's another thing to follow girls that make you feel uncomfortable about your body, make you feel bad about yourself. So I really say just unfollow them, or if you don't want to unfollow, just mute. And maybe it's something you can revisit later when you're feeling a bit better about yourself. But there are times where, following these girls that you think are your goals, can actually just make you feel worse. And you don't feel bad about that because it's totally human, but there's a step you can take to, just maybe remove some of that self-negativity from your life by just doing a quick little unfollow or a quick mute. And also environments or people in your life that you feel are not conducive to the person that you want to become. People that might be looking at you sideways or making you feel weird or laughing at the fact that you're going to the gym. I'm not saying to cut everyone off because let's be realistic. We can't all just cut anyone who ever makes us feel badly about ourselves out of our life. Though I will say I've done a pretty damn good job. I do not have a lot of people in my life that are able to make me feel bad about myself at all. I definitely have let some friends and people in my life go or distance myself from people that I noticed just didn't feel like they were really rooting for me. And yeah, so this can be in the form of boundaries, giving them less access to you, distancing yourself a little bit. Again, doesn't have to be fully cutting off, but also I won't judge you if you feel like that's what you got to do. If your environment keeps pushing the older version of you on you, it's gonna hold you back from your goals. The things that you surround yourself with, you really want to adjust those to be aligned with that person that you're working towards becoming. So let's talk about the 90-day plan. Days 1 through 30, we're just proving that we can show up, all right? This is just pushing through. The first 30 days, honestly, I feel like is the hardest. But it's about consistency, not perfection. You're not gonna be perfect in the first 30 days. You're gonna mess up again. It's okay, all right? We don't have to restart from scratch. We're working on building the habits. We're seeing what works. This is where we start to accumulate some evidence and we're actually able to do those habits. And we're not restarting every week, okay? Like this is just something that we're working on building slowly, adding stuff into our routine. This first 30 days is not about completely transforming your life. It's proving yourself that you can show up for yourself and you can actually commit to those habits that you need to develop to eventually get there. So this is a great time to be tracking your workouts, doing any habit tracking that you want to do, tracking your strength, your energy, starting to take progress photos. In days 31 through 60, this is where we're refining the system. We've got 30 days to look at and we can figure out what was working, what wasn't working, what habits felt too hard or need some adjustments. Is there anything I can prepare in advance? Any more curation I can do to make habits easier? And if there's anything that needs to change. Do not feel bad about yourself for having to adjust the plan. That's the whole point of that first 30 days. It's just our initial trial run. And then from there, we're just tweaking. And I mean, this is just a part of life, right? We're just gonna keep tweaking to make things easier, to make things better. In day 61 to 90, this is when we start to raise the standard because now we have that base level of habits that we've built. At this point, you're going to have noticed some change, even if not physically, you're definitely going to notice change emotionally and just in like your life and like how you're doing. You're definitely going to feel closer to that person you're wanting to become or that you already are. So now that certain habits have become normal, we're going to build on top of that. So say you were just tracking your food. Now maybe we're going to get into our macros and figure out how much protein we're going to be eating. And our new goal is to hit our protein goal. Or maybe you were just trying to get comfortable even going to the gym, stepping foot into the gym. And now you're going to have more of a consistent routine that's developed with your actual like physique goals in mind. 90 days is not when you're finished this entire thing, but it is long enough to prove to yourself that you're capable of developing new habits and continuing to add on to that to get closer and closer to your goals. Because after the 90 days, like I promise you, it's going to feel so much weirder to go back to the old version of you than it is to keep up with the new habits that you've developed. And I have some homework for you. I know, but it's fun. I want you to decide who your it girl is. What does she do consistently? What are systems that could make those things easier? What's one thing that needs to leave your life? And what will you be committing to for the next 90 days? And I know this can kind of be like a little bit overwhelming to think about all at once. So I've actually put together a free template for you guys to fill out in the description down below. So you can go ahead and snag that and fill it out. And really I'm making this series not just for you guys, but for me too. Like as we kind of talked about, I'm also working on the next evolution of who I want to become. And honestly, like I find doing this kind of stuff really exciting now. Each episode of this series will tackle one piece of becoming that it girl. So make sure you can hit that subscribe button so you know when each episode of this series goes live. And while this was kind of a sit down professor moment, a lot of those videos are also going to be me taking you through the routines or the topic that we're talking about and how it applies to my day. Because I'm not just here to tell you like what you need to do, like we're going to do this together. And if you want accountability between episodes, we have a Discord accountability group with over 3,000 girls in it, which is so crazy. All of them hyping each other up, clocking in when they go to work out, sharing their goals, setting their goals every week. Like it's the most supportive, wonderful group of women. And I would love to have you there. So I'll link it down in the description below. Let me know in the comments down below, what's one thing you'll be adding to your life to become that it girl that I know you can be. All right, class dismissed. Go become that it girl I know you are.